My son handed me a drawing after dinner. Crayons, paper wrinkled at the edges. He was proud of it, the way only 6-year-olds can be proud of things that hurt you without knowing. It showed our house, blue sky, green grass, and 3 figures: his mother, him, and a man holding her hand, not me. I laughed at first because that's what fathers do when they see something strange and hope it's nothing. "Who's that?" I asked lightly. He tilted his head. "That's the man who sleeps in your bed when you're at work." The room went silent. I felt something twist behind my ribs. My throat dried. My smile didn't move. "Where did you see that?" I managed. He shrugged, coloring again. "He brings mommy flowers." That night, I couldn't look at her the same way. She kissed me, said she was tired, and went to bed early. I stayed downstairs, staring at the drawing until the lines blurred. The paper trembled in my hand, but my expression didn't change. I've learned that control isn't about calm, it's about how quietly you bleed. The next morning, she hummed while packing my lunch. That casual, domestic melody that now felt rehearsed. I asked where she was going that afternoon. She said yoga, smiled, kissed my cheek. But I'd checked her schedule. There was no yoga class at that time. There hadn't been for months. It's strange how you start noticing details only when your mind's already halfway broken. The perfume that lingers too long. The faint scent of cologne not yours. The way her phone never leaves her pocket, even when she showers. My son's words replayed all day, each one a needle under my skin. That night, when I lay beside her, I watched the soft rhythm of her breathing, the peace of her face, the steady rise and fall that made her seem human again. And all I could think was, who else has watched her like this? I wanted to ask, to shake her awake and demand the truth, but I didn't. Because truth obtained through anger is never clean. It has to be earned with silence. Over the next week, I became 2 men. The one she saw, quiet, working, smiling at dinner, and the one she didn't, the one collecting fragments of her lies like pieces of glass. I checked phone bills, bank transactions, hidden folders in cloud backups. She wasn't careful. People rarely are when they think they're loved without question. There were messages, deleted but recoverable. A name I didn't know. T, short, simple, familiar enough to be intimate. I read everything. Words she'd never said to me. When she texted him, "I miss you" in our bed, I didn't react. I just saved the screenshot. One night I came home early. My son was asleep. The house smelled like candle wax and something floral. Her hair was damp, freshly showered. She smiled. "You're home early." "Yeah." I kissed her cheek, still warm from the steam. And I wondered if the water had washed him away or just covered the scent. I smiled back. My hands didn't tremble. My voice didn't break. Inside, I was burning quietly. Controlled flame, no smoke. I hired someone, a private investigator. I wanted proof that didn't depend on emotion. He delivered a folder 3 days later. Photos, times, addresses. Her car parked outside a cheap motel. Her hand on a man's shoulder. His hand on her waist. The way they looked at each other. The familiarity of it. The ease. It was the kind of intimacy that takes time to build and even longer to kill. I didn't open the folder again. I didn't need to. That night, I made her favorite dinner. She came home smiling, kissed me on the neck, told me I was sweet. We sat at the table. I slid the folder toward her. She frowned, opened it. Her fork slipped from her hand. Silence. Her lips parted, but I spoke first. I didn't believe it at first, until our son drew it. Her eyes filled instantly. "You misunderstand." I didn't misunderstand. Her tears fell hard, loud. I stayed silent, watching her unravel. Because the truth doesn't need my voice to hurt. I didn't shout, didn't demand explanations. I'd already heard every possible lie in her silence. I stood up, took the folder, and placed it beside her plate. "I'm leaving," I said simply. Her eyes widened. Please, we can fix this. There's nothing to fix. You already built something new. I'm just setting you free in it. I looked toward the hallway. Our son's drawing was still pinned to the fridge. She followed my gaze. Her face crumpled. That was the moment she broke. The moment she realized her betrayal had been witnessed through the eyes of innocence. I'll tell him the truth, I said, that you loved someone else, that you lied. But I'll also tell him you once loved me, because that's enough for him. It's enough for me too. And I walked away. Not fast, not angry, just final. I live in a small apartment now. My son visits on weekends. He draws new pictures. Just 2 of us now. The first one he made here showed a blue house and a man standing beside it. Alone, but smiling. He asked, "Do you miss Mommy?" I said, "Sometimes." He nodded, then drew the sun a little brighter. I keep that drawing on my desk, not as a reminder of her, but of what truth costs, and what peace feels like once you finally pay it. Because love dies loud, but clarity is silent.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.